The harsh reality is that not every valuable click becomes a lead on the first visit. We've had 82 clicks, no obvious sales. Does that mean wasted budget? Now, my name's Eugene, and I've been building and ranking websites for over 15 years. I've spent more than 20 mil on Google and Facebook advertising. I'd like to call myself the omnipresent marketer in that I don't lean towards Facebook ads or SEO or Google ads for that one thing. I gravitate to what works in that specific industry. Mostly I fly around in the local space. I really enjoy it. I currently maintain about 800 of my own sites. And one of the more common ways and the quick ways that we generate leads early on is the rental traffic, the rental strategy of running a Google ad or a Facebook ad, while things on the SEO front might take time to mature. Now, I've got a very common scenario in a lot of nice to have spaces. In this particular space, this is logistics. This is a SaaS. This is quite I wouldn't call it an expensive bit of software, but a significant investment where we're doing SEO, progressing, getting traffic, getting clicks. But the scenario here is we've had 82 clicks, no obvious sales. Does that mean we are wasting budget? So first thing is first is understanding what we're tracking and making sure that it's being tracked properly. Whether you are a pest controller, whether you are a dentist, someone in the health space, there are very basic attributions that you can set up. One, have a unique landing page, have a unique phone number, have a unique offer, somewhere where you can see where the money has actually gone and what appeared at the end of that month. So are you actually tracking it properly? And here is what the data is really telling you. So in this case, we've identified that freight management software, quite a competitive key term, transport management system, logistics software, and a few other keywords were high intent in that we set them up as an exact match and took them out to a unique landing page. Still has some homework to be done. We're working with a design agency, a creative agency, and let's just say I'm not able to just flap my wings and press the buttons myself like I would normally do. The way I would normally set up a landing page personally is I would disable all menu items in the menu so the user can't actually navigate anywhere else, and have all of the trust signals above the fold, call to actions, any offers, a unique phone number, unique inquiry form. That way we have a higher chance of an inquiry then and there. But understand that in lots of spaces that's just not going to happen. Okay, a space like medical, for example, you might take a bit more time to pick a plastic surgeon, right? Or a mansion builder, a custom home builder for that matter. So these are not random clicks. You always want to target commercial intent key terms. You don't want to target too many. You want to have a tight fit of 2 to 3 keywords per an ad group and serve a unique ad to that particular ad group. So these are all sort of category aware searches from buyers actively searching for options, have strong intent, makes the click valuable even if the demo request comes later. So I'm going to stick to this particular space, which is B2B, which is SaaS, quite a competitive space. Lots of big companies, international companies bidding on these key terms. Lots of directory sites, tech directories that want to rank and be affiliate. So B2B buyers do not buy software the way they buy socks or book a pest controller or a tree removal, where someone has a problem, they want to resolve that problem, a locksmith will just get the call, you just have a numbers game. This is a bit different. They might find you via the Google ad, they might compare vendors, they might leave research and more, return via SEO or direct, convert 2 to 3 to 4 touch points later. It might be that you met them at a barbecue or a convention or an event. You had a chat, they may have forgotten about you, but they've found you via the Google ad again and they remember that conversation, they remember your signage. It's now you're maximizing your digital footprint, you're maximizing your chances that somebody's building a relationship with your online brand. And I think the data is like someone needs to see your brand like 6 to 9 times or something like that to have a bit more trust, not necessarily a conversion. Generally speaking, people will have multiple touch points. The final conversion gets credit to direct, organic, or branded search, the Google ad that started it all, invisible in the report a lot of the time. Now, there are some crazy attributions and pixel retargetings and journeys that you can set up. A lot of those softwares are quite costly for a small business. Definitely something that can be set up to pixel them, follow them around, have various attribution channels. That's not what this is about. So while everything that I do is attempting to hunt last click attribution, which is the click delivered the sale, the click delivered the purchase in Shopify, the click delivered the inquiry of, yes, call a locksmith or book my dental appointment right now, a lot of the time it tells an incomplete story. And I've seen this play out on so many occasions. Music lessons, for example, music tutoring, we turn off the Google ad, leads just keep flowing through for a few weeks before it begins to die down, and then we can see baseline of SEO leads, for example. So buyer clicks the Google ad today, returns via organic search next week, comes back directly after an internal meeting, converts via maybe a remarketing ad. So a lot of the time I will have a $5 to $10 Facebook or Instagram retargeting ad live as well, just as an additional brand presence. If we've paid $30, $40, $50 for that click, we may as well follow them around on social media. Why not? It costs $5, $10 and you generally max out your audience if your website's not getting that much traffic. You can also retarget on LinkedIn, depending on the space. All of this, I don't want this to take away from making sure your conversion tracking is set up correctly, as much as it possibly can be. So none of what I'm saying matters if we haven't set up baseline tracking, where you might have a unique phone number or ways to track actual calls, not just clicks to the button, actual conversations, if they happened, if the call was missed, if the call was abandoned. This is where a $10, $15 a month phone number might be worth it, where you have a dashboard and some data. Unique forms definitely help. So if there's a fill out in the form, you can see where that inquiry came from exactly. Is it the top form? Is it the bottom form? Unique landing pages, of course. I make a unique landing page. If it's a Facebook ad, if it's a Google ad, I just duplicate it. De-index those landing pages. Don't let the Google search engine index those pages. They might be duplicate pages. They might be a duplicate of your home page. So just be mindful of making these additional pages and not throwing them out of the index. Ideally, a full tracking journey. Now, there are so many tools and CRMs out there that are brilliant, that are great. You have Go High Level, but you have so many in the medical space, especially dental space. I've seen my fair share of horrible CRMs that just, the guide that we get to set up conversion tracking literally looks like it was just a band-aided fix that gives us access to their code, and it was just an absolute nightmare. And then to get that data out at the end of it, you have to run these manual reports. Like, you've got to be a software engineer to be able to figure it out. But on top of that, the booking platforms, they are really designed for people returning for their teeth cleaning, a checkup. So they will go through a form which has lots of friction. If you are attempting to just take the lead as quickly as possible so you can get out and do the job, you want minimal friction. So a lot of the time, those medical CRMs, Clinico, a whole bunch of others, they make it so difficult to track attributions. And you can see in their support notes that they were just attempting to give us a band-aid solution, which doesn't work on the conversion side and the too much friction on the inquiry side. So what proper tracking looks like: this setup first, interpret, performance second, unique phone number, unique landing page, dedicated page for offer, maybe a unique offer, maybe a 50% offer, maybe a unique code on purchasing so you can attribute affiliate, having GA4 configured with goals, form submits, call recordings enabled. Some of my call tracking tools allow that, and it uses AI to actually decipher if the tone was friendly, if they said hello. So if you have a call center, this kind of stuff would be helpful. And then of course you want to connect to the CRM so leads can be tracked to source. Facebook Lead Manager is quite good. Go High Level is great. Yeah, we want to avoid, and I see this sadly every day. This is the most common setup. One generic contact form for everything. It's the home page, and then judging the campaign only by platform reported conversions. So this stuff falls over pretty quickly. Now we can interpret the performance beyond the last click. It creates the first touch point. It builds brand recall over time, so people now remember you, they might come back, they might Google your brand. The thing about brand search is it directly impacts, I've got to be careful with the words directly, but the correlation that I found is if people are looking for your specific brand, if you have a unique keyword, John Smith's accounting and plumbing was the unique keyword. If Google sees that is its own growing brand, you actually rank high and your website gets more authority and trust from Google. So when they find you via the Facebook ad, they Google your name, it sends Google the signal and the search engines. When I say Google, AI search, ChatGPT search, it's all more or less the same database. The database is a list of key terms, trends, fan out queries that are being searched. And so if your brand is getting additional searches in various of these platforms, naturally the algorithms respect you and will show you higher and more. So lifts brand search volume, grows remarketing audience. Everything you should be doing, generally speaking, is you have a Facebook retargeting pixel. Hit them if they've spent time on your homepage. If they've spent time on your services page, you should be instantly hitting them with a very basic, can be generic. You can attempt to take lead details then and there, or you just want to be the brand. So they visited your house. As soon as they're driving out to the street, they see a billboard and another billboard. Digital marketing sort of 101. So digital marketing, I feel like, is like long-term SEO is like planting a tree or paying off a mortgage or an investment, right? SEO brings long-term results, delayed gratitude, delayed effect. Whereas Google ads or Facebook ads is intrusive marketing. It is a direct response, whether it's clicks, whether it's impressions. We are obviously hunting for leads, conversions, bookings, sales, bums on seats, whatever the conversion is, which brings revenue. So when I look at Facebook and Google ads, I look at a necessary evil to get some traction early on. But the moment you turn that off, similar to renting an apartment, you can't live in that apartment or that home anymore. So it's the rental strategy versus the ownership strategy. I think these days it's very important to run a blended strategy where you're not just relying on SEO. While I've seen plenty of businesses just simply take off with local SEO, they've placed a Google business listing in the right suburb. There's no other competitors. They've got a whole bunch of genuinely good reviews because they do genuinely good work, and they've just taken off. So local SEO is bringing them all of the leads that they want. It's a bit hard to scale that and control that if an algorithm comes along or a competitor decides to do the same thing next door. So I've always said the same thing. While you have this bonus, this icing on the cake, build out your non-negotiable assets. Build out your website service pages. Build out things that are planting SEO seeds that will solidify your rankings, that will grow roots into that area so you're more stable. Google ads, in a lot of cases, is a necessary evil, and it's really good for the business owner to have a stable cost per lead, whatever that might be. Might be $20 for a tree removal lead in Perth. It might be $100 for a pest control or a termites inspection lead here in Melbourne, or it might be $300 plus for a custom home builder, right? It's good for the business owner to lean on that because relying on SEO has proven to be extremely unreliable. One month you're there, the other month you're there. There's competitors, everyone's always hunting for it. It's definitely also a necessary evil. Like, why wouldn't you not want to show up for these things? But having the tap of Google ads sitting there gives the business owner a peace of mind that they can lean on those, yes, sometimes ridiculous cost per lead conversions, but they can get some leads through the door. Content and social is hosting a free workshop where you're just delivering value, and that's how I see social, not social ads, sharing value online. You're building authority, a topical authority from a website perspective, from a social media perspective. If you're posting things on YouTube, YouTube is the second biggest search engine. Transcripts from YouTube videos are commonly cited by AI and ChatGPT. So publish good stuff. A lot of the time, that one blog that we create gets given as a script to the business owner. They can publish things for social media. That goes up onto all the platforms that matter. So clicks are not just traffic, they're an audience building events. Once again, I'm not taking away from, there's plenty of fluffy Google ad advertisers out there that just turn on an ad, burn some budget, and then nothing happens. This only matters if you are targeting the right commercial intent keywords, exact match keywords, taking them out to a landing page and have all of the unique conversion tracking. Then this is applicable. Clicks are not just traffic, they're an audience building events. If someone searched for freight management software and visited your landing page, that's a buying signal. From there, it's a question of why did they not inquire, right? Now we can nurture those visitors across Google Display, Meta, LinkedIn, search remarketing. The most sensible and easiest and cheapest would be social media retargeting. A lot of people have Instagram or Facebook these days. So looking at clean conversion data to begin with, then zoom out to the full picture. This is where I think I've mauled over this topic: tracking phone numbers, tracking submissions, booked appointments, booked jobs. If you go past that, sometimes the issue is not the clicks, it is what happens after the clicks. So this is where I'm a big believer that the header of the landing page should have nothing else but conversion and trust signals. You have your brand, you might mention exactly what you do, you might mention a phone number, unique tracking, and a call to action. That's it. If they've landed on that page after the commercial intent key terms, freight management software, let's attempt to take their details then and there. You show trust signals early, add strong proof points. We've worked with 1,000 clients, we've delivered millions of dollars worth of revenue, include case studies, videos, make the next step super obvious. Landing pages should be that. Sure, a lot of landing pages with VSLs, Hormozy methods and things like that are just long and elongated. Property and finance, everything has a place in the digital marketing. Everything can work, but we're just talking about this particular space here. Traffic is there, tracking is clean, commercial keywords, no conversions. Elephant in the room. Okay, the hard thing about hard things. I've done this, I've had my fair share of these scenarios. I've reluctantly fired up Google Ads in spaces where, sure, we built them a beautiful website, but the rest of the site was just old school HTML. My warnings were sent, and I said, this is probably what's going to happen. We're after, what is it? There was one there, the commercial graffiti removal where governments book these jobs. We built the best landing page you could think of at the time. It had all the trust signals. There was no reviews for the business. We had to fake reviews, but we had to fake case studies. We had to fake all of this stuff because we didn't have anything else. The rest of the site didn't match it, and they didn't want to rebuild it. And I said, this is probably what's going to happen. We will get some drips and drabs. The cost per lead will be very high because a lot of the time they are jumping off that landing page and they are sussing out the rest of the site. They're seeing that there's no official office environment, there's no Google listings, and it's not that's bad. It's not that everyone has to have that. It's just when they compare you to somebody else, they're just going to choose somebody else that has a more established brand in that space. If someone from a government office, a receptionist, is going to make this decision, they want to choose a decision that makes them look good, and you wouldn't want anyone else to be like, okay, that landing page was pretty that you landed from the Google ad. You'll never find that landing page again. But when they Google that business, when they check out the rest of the site, it's like, oh, yeah, let's not engage this business. So I don't want to say marketing's not the problem because we could do things in the marketing to make it. It just depends on where the business owner is at. Now, it might be no reviews. It might be, what's a good analogy that I started? So They might have landed on the page. If pricing is visible, I ran some Google ads for, I wouldn't say it's like a luxury, but it's a high-end gym with boxing, with a whole bunch of stuff. So naturally, versus a standard gym membership that might be $8-10, all of a sudden this is $50-60 a week, not a month. The intent of that keyword is so broad, they're like, wow, no, this is not for me. So Facebook ads works better in that space. But they're landing on the page. Maybe there's a pricing issue. Maybe there's a product offer issue. Maybe there's a market size, market fits, trust, timing, urgency, competition. You may have just opened up a dental clinic in a suburb which has 5 other dental clinics that are already fighting for leads. There's a bit of a cost of entry to market, and in that there might not be as many fish in that sea to get the bookings that you need. So we have to basically steal and take the bookings from the competing dentist by dropping our price, increasing our offers, giving stuff away. At the end of the day, if we're bidding on commercial intent key terms, they're not converting. There's something going on with maybe your pricing, your offer, your product, competition, timing. It just falls into one of these. And that's where it's a month by month evolution of the landing page, of the offer, might be the services, industries, time of the year, political events. I hate talking about it, but literally as soon as petrol prices went up, Facebook ads conversions and Google ads conversions went through the roof. Crickets for campaigns that would normally be very busy, emergency electrical, pest control and things like that. Persistent zero conversions is marketing feedback, not a marketing failure. Hate talking about this, but I'm called in and my job is to fire up an ad for the dentist that's just opened up. He's got 10 competitors in the same street. He's already built the building. He's already renovated the building. My job is to nod and fire up the ad, not to question competition, cost of entry. My job is to build as much trust as I possibly can on that landing page so a potential user can click and book and convert. So high traffic, zero conversions might be pointing at the offer or price mismatch, right? These are just general things that I'm seeing in the industry. So we look at the landing page against competitors. Everything's versus competitors. We look at what they have. Now, if we're running an ad on Mansion Builders Sydney, right? And we're taking the user out to a landing page, or Luxury Home Builder Sydney, we better have a track record of success of building mansions in Sydney. So there better be, at the very least, a grid of real homes, not AI, not renders, not drafts. That's like bare minimum, at least a couple, 6, 10, 20, ideally. The more you have, the better. Each of those is a micro case study, a micro project, which mentions we built this mansion in Bondi. It had 17 bedrooms, 45 toilets, plumbing that cleansed the sea or something like that. So I've had my fair share of builders that were like, yeah, this is a keyword we want to target, luxury builders. We run an ad for luxury builders, but we're just displaying downloaded images from realestate.com. Right, because there were no folders of high quality images. I had to just crawl realestate.com, remove the realestate.com watermark, sometimes invert the image because we weren't sure if we were allowed to because it was the real estate that took the photo and things like that. It was the builder's work. He did everything. He did the floorboards, he did the roof, everything. So it's like we're band-aiding it and we're getting a response from the market in that leads were not many. But then the client happened to have a whole bunch of home renovations that he had better photos. When you go down the chain of garage transformations, for example, you don't need high-level production stuff. You just need to prove that you've done a few of those jobs, that you are an authority in the space, that you're trustworthy in the space, and you know your stuff. Okay, so low traffic, zero conversions, market too small, or keyword too niche. This happens a lot. So look at your validate search volume. But if it's a suburb related search volume, a lot of tools don't give you real data, truthful data. So until we run it, we just don't know. Until we max out that per week budget, per month budget. Traffic plus inquiries, but no sales. Sales process, a follow-up issue maybe, or it's a reaction to the product at the end of the day. Review speed to respond, so getting to the lead as quickly as possible is crucial. Has my head just been in the way this whole time? I think so. Sorry, I should be 26 minutes and I'm blocking most of the screen. Traffic plus clicks on call to action, but no form fills out. Maybe there's too much friction in the form. I see too many Google ads, landing pages, or not landing pages at all. Google ads being run to the home page, the form's got 20 questions. Now, have the 20 questions if you're busy and you value your admin time more than new business, because that's a genuine problem. We've got too much business finding us. We need to make sure we fulfill, make sure our internal systems are working. But if the slider is, hey, we're desperate for more work, then you should reduce the friction. And that's a slider that you just keep moving around. Generally, with something like a Facebook ad, you want to have more friction because a lot of idiots come home drunk, 2 a.m., press a bunch of buttons and a form gets filled out. You don't want that to happen. SMS verifications help. SMS verifications and booking confirmations where they book in a time in Calendly or something like that is the ultimate. So Facebook ads, more friction. Google ads, less friction. Generally speaking, if you're busy, turn the ads off. Add more friction that helps your internal admin team. Hopefully that sort of helps. Every industry is different. I love and enjoy the local space the most. We've got quite a few Shopify e-commerce campaigns, lots of data across a lot of mostly local space. We have a lot of national websites that I still maintain, so quite a lot of value to deliver. Once again, set up a unique phone number, forms, landing pages before judging any channel. Last click attribution sometimes hides real contribution of ads and SEO content. Strong search intent is a must. This is where I still build the sales page, SEO page, I call it main page content, MPC page, for every commercial intent key term that doesn't cannibalize other pages. And I juice that up with blogs and guides from an SEO perspective, or we run a Google ad to that specific landing page. If tracking is clean and conversions are still zero, the problem is the offer, sometimes not the marketing. It depends, of course. Persistent zero conversions is market feedback, checking pricing, product fit and trust, or there's just not enough people looking for what you're selling. Track everything, then ask the right questions. Good tracking tells you when to fix marketing. Zero conversions tells you when to fix the product. Let me know if you have any questions. Let's audit your tracking and offer. No, too busy. Too busy. And that's also not my website. .net.au. But yeah, don't contact me. Unless you're in the local space, you are in the trade space, you're a builder, you're a home renovator, pest control, tree removal, dentists, financial advisors, accountants, we're usually quite good at that. All of my internal systems and processes are aimed that way, but I promise my wife and my business partner that no more clients. I just hope my videos deliver value. Thank you. Bye-bye.